What's up, YouTube? This is Lord Zath bringing you another replay, this time from Ducky Shot. And he's in his Nagato. Domo arigato, Mr. Nagato. Very fun Tier 7 Japanese battleship. He is divisioned up with a Nelson and a Miyoko. This is actually 5.13, which is why you see no Pan-Asian destroyers. 5.13? I don't know. Whatever version was before 14. In any case, Ducky is top tier, which the Nagato thrives on. It's got some amazing guns, and oh, look at this starting position. Oh, guys, I love this. This is so cool.
Action stations.
One thing I love that Wargaming started doing is they started making it so that you can start off in these really cool, just epic starts, right? Like, how cool is it to think like you're leaving town to go and defend them, right? To go and do battle, that sort of thing. That's just cool. And on top of that, he's using Stormwind camo, which is just gorgeous. But I'm a big fan of greens and blues. So anyway, let's get to the replay and get to the commentary. I know screenshots can be distracting. So Ducky is in the Nagato. What's so strong about the Nagato, you say? These guns are incredible. Very good accuracy, very good range, very good penetration and damage. Her secondaries are pretty powerful as well. You can get them out to 7.6 with flags and all that, I want to say. But the big feature of the ship is going to be her guns, of course. Adequate torpedo protection, got a nice bulge there, decent hit points, that sort of thing. Nagato is definitely an older ship, but she's a really good ship. So keep that in mind. I see him running equal speed Charlie London for extra XP, speed flag there, and then over on this side, this is the flag for extra damage heal from repair party, and this flag here speeds up the reload of consumables, which is really handy. Some things I want to comment on real quick. Whoa. Already getting in the action. See what I mean about long range? His use of camouflage and his use of equal speed Charlie London, personally, I would be using a camouflage that does 100% to XP gain. If you're going to invest in an XP flag, and then you've got extra space, I would invest in additional XP flags if you're really trying to grind some XP. Ooh, Texas. And that is a sexy looking camouflage, by the way. That person purchased the special Texas camouflage that whoa, nice hit.
Enemy severely damaged.
That helps save the battleship Texas, and I don't think it's up for sale anymore, but if it comes up again, seriously consider picking it up. That money goes straight to the Texas, and they need every dollar. I was just on her myself a couple months ago, just after the Let's Battle tour, and it was a real treat. Stop bullying. Oh, jeez. And so anyway, nice double citadel on that furutaka, otherwise known as the fruitcake or furry taco. Is that the person you citadeled? Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, personally, that's how I would run flags. You're doing the right flag with the heal one. I also see that you're not. You lost your rudder. I also see that you're not running your fire flag, the one that reduces fire time. That might be a useful one. Now you've lost your rudder, and you're stuck going straight into an island there. Nice hit, and now you just realized it. Double citadel now as your ray. See what I mean about these guns just being super powerful, especially at long range. If you got really good at using the Congo, this is it. She's very different from the Fuso, and the Fuso is more like a shotgun spread, and these are more like sniper spread, just like the Congo. And those guns can overmatch the bow armor on the Texas, might even Citadel, depending on the accuracy of the shots. In this case, accuracy was a little off. Now, we also noticed from the shell tracers that Ducky is using the Yamamoto captain, which is cool. I have Yamamoto, but I don't know where I want to put it. Whatever. Algiray's engines are off, so you need to shoot farther to the right. You're going to miss him. That was a bit of a missed shot there, but he might have actually DCP'd, and he did DCP and speed forward, just not as much as you would have gotten the kill or the hits. Anyway, so Ducky's team. Let's pause for a second, and I really want people to look at something important here, the mini-map. I need to turn on a couple of things. Okay, let's take a look at the mini-map. For some odd reason, Ducky's team hasn't really done much in the center. As a matter of fact, they've allowed the enemy team to capture the center point. You can see that his Nelson division mate is over here trying to fend off this flank, this push that's going really heavy. Ducky is kind of messing around with these guys over here. And then up in the top you've got these two that, honestly, I don't know what they're doing. And you can see the Nelson is just making short work of ships that just come cruising right through. So this is kind of one of those positions where I think Ducky's a little out of position. He needs to get more aggressive, because this flank could just roll him up and this Miyoko, and so I don't know. You could also kite it, and maybe that's what he's trying to think now. Of course, he derped into the island, so we'll have to see what he does from here. But if he turns to the right and then heads into the Texas and stuff like that, he'll probably run into the Furitaka around here. He can get focused down and killed if nobody else supports him. So maybe the smart play would be to actually kite away. The problem is I want to bring up is he's the top tier battleship. These two battleships are lower tier and will easily be focused by this group. So if he goes and kites, he's not going to draw damage away from these guys, and that's a concern. So let's see how he plays this. Like I said, if he can get the Texas here and get him on the defensive, I would take advantage of that. Judging by the way he's turning, he is going into a kiting position. So what he's trying to do is maximize his life, essentially, keeping his armor angled to the Texas and possibly the Scharnhorst and the other ships down there, which obviously aren't as much of a threat AP-wise. And basically try to draw them into overextending and pushing too far. I showed a little too much side there, but it's a Texas, and your armor was able to defeat those shots pretty easily, so that's okay. The big question is now we've seen the smoke screen there, so we know there's a destroyer down there. The Farragut is pushed up, so you have to be careful there, of course, not getting too far into it. Okay, so we've got the Algiray that's sailing away now. I know Ducky's trying to get that kill. By the way, notice on the bottom here that he is running premium consumables. Very important to help keep him alive in a situation like this. His repair party consumable will come up sooner, and as a result, he's going to end up getting a little bit more hit points back faster. In addition, nice hit. Almost got him. In addition, the premium consumable gives you one additional charge, so now he's got a whole nother set of HP that he can repair up and that sort of thing. So I think that will help him quite a bit. Now he's doing the right thing here. He's realizing that the Pensacola is in a really bad position. He's kind of surrounded by everybody, and he can take out that Geta or that Atlanta. So he has to go, and he has to go fast. And there he goes.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
Again, these guns are just phenomenal if you're good at aim. And unfortunately, the Algiray was able to take out the Atlanta from extreme long range. And fortunately, Ducky's team has kind of managed to hold off this play. The Nelson, by the way, is positioned wonderfully because he can block shots coming from this side of the island from over here, and his guns are only forward turrets. Did you see what Ducky did right there, by the way? Very smart. He fired a little bit, trying to predict where he might go. Instead of firing an entire salvo, he kind of tried to predict and shoot based on where the guy might dodge. And that's really useful when you're shooting against a low health target. If he fired a full salvo and the guy dodged a different direction, that would have probably nailed him. Now we can see that by being set on fire once and having both sets of sections burning here, he is running fire prevention, which is a very smart skill to run. Shoot the Furotaka, yeah, he sees it. And it makes it harder to get set on fire, and it makes one less fire available on your hull, which means that you don't burn as much. Maybe that's why he's not running the fire flag. So Ducky, again, see, he's again trying to think about where is this guy gonna go, and how can I hit him? And there's that, did he, oh, bounced off the, oh, I hate when that happens. But as you can see there, now he's using his repair party again. The Nelson takes down another enemy. As you can see, the Nelson is trying to position himself to not have to worry about torpedoes. And Ducky is now turning around because he's realizing essentially that this flank is over. There's no more need to rush this way. He's going back to the other flank to try to do something about it. And this Mav Goose guy says he's running the Furotaka, so obviously his team is telling him that he needs to run. He just told Ducky and Ducky's team something in alt chat that, of course, they're going to use to their advantage. Now, one thing I do want to mention that I've seen so far is there it goes. Nice. Is that Ducky gets on fire often, but he's rarely using his damage control party. He didn't use it originally. As a matter of fact, I think this is the first time he's used his DCP. And honestly, I think especially if you've got premium damage control party, you should be using it more often. And I know that a lot of people say, well, you only DCP when you get set on 2 fires right off the bat. In these instances, he's really only being spammed by a couple ships. It's not sustained fire from like 4 or 5 ships that are all trying to target him. So I think he could afford to take that risk of being set on fire again. And I think this is where that fire flag would come in very handy, because right now his hit points would be farther up. They'd be up. Well, here's his hit point pool, right? He'd be more like about here right now. And there goes his last heal. So now he can't afford to take damage anymore. Really, what you see is what you get. This Texas is smartly using HE on him, although I think that the penetration is possible from a broadside angle. Ducky again doing that same thing that I was talking about earlier. So now it just comes down to the Scharnhorst, the Farragut, and the Gremiash. So plane up, and I believe he's using the plane. He's trying to hope that he can find one final target, right? Maybe that plane will catch the Scharnhorst off guard. There's no communication with the team. We've talked about this in many other replays. He's definitely going to be in voice comms. Right now, if I were in voice comms, I'd be asking that Miyoko to send up a plane. By the way, I see 2 planes being launched here, so Ducky is using the catapult fighter and spotter ability that gives an additional fighter. It is useful, definitely useful on cruisers. For battleships, I don't know, I don't like it as much because it only lasts for a minute and a half. And that's really like enough time for these planes to like revolve once around your ship, and that's it. So I don't feel like I just don't feel like it gets me enough. It gets enough use out of it. 3 overpens on the ship that you knew was stopping, so that was good. For some odd reason, the Farragut wants to AP you to death. Probably because he thinks AP is the skill shot. Honestly, dumb. But this is random battles, and it happens. And it looks like he might have changed to HE now. Either case, Ducky is recognizing the potential threat here of this Farragut being at 6.4 kilometers away. The Miyoko wrecked him. Nice job, Miyoko. And boom goes the dynamite for Confederate. And here comes torpedoes. What do you know?
Torpedoes to starboard.
Farragut's torque range is, I think, 6.4. So, had the Farragut aimed a little bit farther in advance, then he might have gotten a torque hit. So now Gremiashi is left and Scharnhorst. Now everybody says Gremiashi is overpowered. Honestly, it's okay, but now with the changed matchmaker, he's going to end up in Tier 7 battles much more often, so that's not going to be the best situation for him. Now Ducky was about to change his turrets, and you notice how he didn't. Battleships take a long time to change the turret positioning, so I agree with him. I wouldn't be turning those turrets right now. And you can see if he didn't originally go for that, he could have gotten those other rear turrets into action sooner. Maybe that would have been something different. Now, Gremiashi has 8-kilometer torpedoes, which means that Ducky is in range to hit those torpedoes. So now is the time to change your course and direction, because you know that he's definitely sent torpedoes your way. And there goes the Gremiashi for a Kraken by the Nelson. Cog tags. Is that the... Who's cog tags? I don't know. Whatever. Nice friendly banter going on. Community, I really do enjoy this community. You know, there are people that get salty. I've been known to get salty too. But for the most part, you know, people want to help each other. People want to just have fun, enjoy the game together. That's why this channel's here, and that's why I just love this game so much. And I really do enjoy all the great work that Wargaming's putting into it. All that good stuff. So this is basically good game, right? This is it. This is he's either going to kill the Scharnhorst or somebody else is with this guy at 3k health. So Ducky, nice job, great positioning, reacting to the ebb and the flow of the battle well, and honestly, I don't know. The only thing I can give you feedback wise is, you know, if you're only being targeted by 1 or 2 ships, use that premium DCP. Personally, I don't like. I said I don't like using the skill that gives me the extra aircraft. Personally, I like using priority target because it lets me know if I'm being focused by multiple ships, and that comes into play handy with your premium damage control. If you see that there's only 1 ship targeting you, maybe you pop it after the first fire, or after you get set on fire the first time right away. Just give you that little extra leg room. I don't know about you guys, but there have been times where I've set a ship on fire, they've instantly DCP'd, and I've kind of grinned a little, right? Because I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get this guy now. I'm gonna burn him down, that stupid sucker. And then RNG says, no, you're not. And by the time I get him on fire again, guess what? His damage control party is available again. He uses it again. I'm just like, oh my god, are you kidding me? So again, if it's a one-on-one engagement, maybe be more liberal with the use of that repair party. It didn't screw you over this time, but you never know, right? In any case, thank you for sharing this replay. I appreciate it. And for the rest of you guys, if you have a replay you want to share, please send it to me. I'd love to look at it and comment on it. Maybe I can give you some pointers, help you out, and maybe you can teach me a few things too. So thanks, and have a great day, everyone.
Battleship destroyed.